I'm breathing a sigh of relief right now because I'm just about to catch my heart rate back after this RCB crazy win that we've seen in Chepauk. We'll tell you all of this and much more on Criclytics Man vs Machine with Brian Lara. Don't go anywhere because you simply have to watch this. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Criclytics Man vs Machine, another game of the IPL, another game in Chennai, another game decided by the death overs, and we have Brian Lara to discuss it all for us in terms of this post-mortem between SRH and RCB. Brian, like I said, I'm a huge RCB fan, but I certainly had my cojones in my mouth.
Well, it was another cracking match, and I don't think any team has learned yet. I see teams that are winning the toss and deciding to chase, and they know the record at Chepauk is not for chasing teams. It favors teams that bat first. And even though, they look safe and at home, SRH, I was always thinking at the back of my mind, you just need a wicket. That's all you need, a wicket, just to open the doors and see what happens. And of course, David Warner obliged. But these matches are the disparity between what's going on in Wankhede to what's going on at Chepauk. It's unbelievable. And Mumbai Indians must be just saying, what is going on? Why aren't we not at home? Well, the IPL has just produced another big surprise. There's nowhere in my thinking you could lose that game from where it was. I thought KKR couldn't lose. I thought SRH could not lose, and they found a way to grab defeat from the jaws of victory. Unbelievable. Unbelievable,
and it was, of course, the first time in Criclytics Man vs Machine. Let me just put that out there and self-gloat for a bit because Brian lost with his prediction, the robot lost with his prediction, but I got it spot on. But it isn't about me. Brian will, of course, just pick the bones out of this because did RCB win the game or did SRH throw it away? It's a similar question to last night between KKR and MI. Who won this contest?
Oh, well, I think this one was definitely SRH giving it away because I didn't understand the shots. I just didn't understand it. It's I don't know how to explain. Bairstow goes playing across the line, skies the ball, and the very next ball, Manish Pandey does the same thing. Chips down the wicket, plays across the line of a ball that's spinning away from him and gets caught at short third man. It is just unbelievable cricket, and I don't know how you throw away easy points like that, especially when you want to gather as much as possible the early part of the tournament.
Right, so let's just dissect it further because according to Criclytics in the game-changing overs, are quite a few, of course, Maxwell's final flourish of Jason Holder, or be it that Shahbaz Ahmed over where Brian just alluded to, of course, Bairstow's wicket and Manish Pandey's wicket, which, according to you, was the game-changer over, Brian?
I think it was definitely Jameson bowling to David Warner. The captain at that stage, played a shot that I didn't understand. He's very good square of the wicket. Yes, it was a slower ball, but you can put that ball on the ground and pick up two. That's one of the things that I'm really disappointed in this tournament, is how much aerial ball these guys are playing when there are so many gaps in the field. There's so many gaps to pick up twos, run hard, and just get down. When you get that total down to under 20, the fielding team gives up. They have hope until about 20 runs. Even if it's 20 in 2.5 overs with 7 wickets in hand, the fielding team would know that it's only a matter of a couple shots. I'm very disappointed that the game now has gone to mainly boundaries. Everybody wants to strike boundaries. Nobody wants to put the ball in the gap and push the fielders for two. And that's what SRH needed to do at that stage of the match. And the captain, I don't know, he tried to claim it on. He's a short guy. He doesn't have that sort of, height and length of bat to sort of get that ball over mid-on, and was easily caught on the boundary down there. And I feel that was the turning point. That was the part where it allowed Virat Kohli to think about winning the game.
Yeah, that old age saying from hero to zero, there were quite a few heroic shots, but eventually it really didn't get them anywhere. Lastly, before we move on to the Criclytics predictions, because I can tell you there, Brian, you've got a 3-0 result going your way, but more on that in just a bit. What about SRH and their batting, Lara? We spoke about it after their loss to KKR in the first game, and you were adamant that Samad needed a little bit of a promotion up, but this time again, it doesn't seem like their middle order is strong enough.
Yeah, it was just poor batting. There's no excuse for Samad. I can't say that he's 19 years old. I don't know what the instructions is back in. I know that he's one of those guys that pretty much look to clear the boundary. I've seen him bat on a few occasions in the last IPL and this one. Tough situation for him, yes, but he has to be able to handle it better. If you're a better striker of the ball to fast bowling, then wait for the fast bowlers to come back. And it's so hard to comprehend and understand, what is going on in the minds of the management team, the batting coach. What is the message being sent out there when you have 7 and 8 runs to score an over in the last 7 overs? What is the message? Is it to finish it with 3 overs to spare, or is it that, hey, the track is tricky, do not lose our wickets, let's make sure and pick up, if you get a boundary in the over, let's pick up the singles and get the 8 or 9 runs that we need and take it right down to the end. I don't know what is the message. So, no excuses for any of the batters. The ball spun like it did when Mumbai bowled against KKR. Everyone saw that and should be expecting it. But it's just it's diabolical what I'm seeing with the bat.
Yeah, let me play devil's advocate, Brian, here, just before we trot on. The fact that some teams believe that they can get the job done in the 18th and get the net run rate as well, because that's a crucial factor in the IPL. But just get the 2 points on the board first, right?
Yeah, you want to be up there. You don't want to be messing around with run rates. I remember when I was playing, people thought that, you just need to do enough to catch the eyes of the selectors. I felt that when I was playing, I wanted my name penciled in first. And that's how you got to think in this IPL. You want to be 1-2 in this tournament. You don't want to be grappling with run rates and wondering if this team wins a match and win it comprehensively, you're in trouble. Just win your matches and put yourself in a spot that it does not matter what your run rate is.
Absolutely. Now, RCB, of course, doing the unthinkable. Brian asked me why. I'll tell you, because they've pulled off.
I want to hear from you. I don't want to hear anything about Liverpool tonight. I don't want to hear anything about Man City tonight. I want to hear, how could RCB pull these victories off, winning by in the last ball of a match, and now when they were dead, dusted, they came back and won this. I want you to explain me why. Just because they're wearing red?
Because they're wearing red. It's not worked for about 14 years now, but I can tell you a stat, Brian, because the last time, I think you were still playing T20 cricket in 2009. Correct me if I'm wrong. That was the last time RCB managed to defend a total under 150 in the IPL. Just put your head around that, Brian.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's quite ridiculous. Let's move on to the Criclytics Man versus Machine, and that'll make Brian, of course, more chuffed because he got the result wrong in terms of the match result, but he got some of the deadly predictions right. Let's tell you about the Batsmen first, because when we take a look at who the Criclytics Machine went for, it went for Devdutt Padikkal. But Brian, on the other side, went for another southpaw, and David Warner, and came out trumps in this one. Brian, a word on David Warner and a word on you triumphing against the Machine, going 1-0 up here, please.
Well, as I said, David Warner is a true professional. He's been around a long time, and he would think that the first game where they lost 2 quick wickets was the reason why they couldn't chase the total down. And he needed to put together an innings. Now, that was some serious bowling there by Mohammad Siraj. I felt he bowled so well. His third over did go for some runs, but it was testing times for the batsman. But I just felt that he knew that he needed to put an innings together. And if he does, then, more than likely they would have gone on to win the match. And that's why I went for him. I just think the experience over youth, I think there is a distinct problem with young Padikkal's technique. And I wish I can get in a word just to see. It doesn't take a lot to change what I'm seeing he's doing wrong, but hopefully, he's a very successful young batsman. He just came off the first class season with 4 centuries straight, I think, a record. So, who am I to say anything to a man in so much form? But yeah, I think David Warner was always going to be my selection.
Let's, of course, move on to the bowlers. And this is when Brian went 2-0 up, and it was getting really out of the order for the Criclytics machine here. 2-0. He went for Rashid Khan. The machine went for Harshad Patel. Both of them, of course, did well, but Rashid had better figures.
Yeah, Rashid Khan is known for his economical bowling. I just felt that the track at Chepauk is favoring the spin. So on top of the fact that he is very, very tight with runs, if you do take a chance or dare take a chance, you find yourself vulnerable to getting out. Harshad Patel, I think, amazing spell in his first game, previous game, but it was hard for him to follow that up. But he bowled well, and he played a very important part in the victory.
Yeah, I think the more important thing for you, Brian, is the fact that you went 2-0 up here. You weren't going to surrender your lead, and it helped you in many ways because both of you guys went for Mohammad Nabi as your all-rounders, but Nabi didn't get the nod. It was Jason Holder, and eventually, according to Criclytics, it was Shehbaz Ahmed who was the most important player in this match in terms of what he did. 7 for 3, and then of course he chipped in with the bat as well. I think he got 14 of 10 if I'm not wrong. So let's move on, of course, to that part where we talk about the wicket-keepers, because there's really nothing to pick up with the all-rounders. The wicket-keepers, now this is interesting. Ridhaman Saha 1 of 9, AB de Villiers 1 of 5. Brian went for AB and he just about got it right, with AB being on the right side of the coin. What do you have to say about the wicket-keeper picks here?
I'm not going to take too much credit for that. I think maybe a couple of run-outs I can boast about, but and a good catch, but not the sort of innings I was expecting from AB. I think he had a great platform laid out there by Maxwell and by his captain Virat, and they didn't really capitalize on it. But it just shows you, if you have the right bowlers at the right time on such a track, I think you could still restrain the batsmen from getting the runs. But AB is world class, so next time out I'm almost sure I'm going to make the same choice.
I'm going to absolutely imitate you right now. It's fair to say the fact that in many ways the robot here has been restrained by me, and the fact that my cricketing intuition has prevailed. So there you have it, Criclytics, in your face, because I've got away with a big lead. How much is that lead, Brian? You've got to 10 first in terms of the points so far of IPL 2021. Brian, it's been great with you in this little banter with Criclytics and the robot. You've prevailed once again, and hope that keeps going with all the matches to come. Your final thoughts before we head into another busy day tomorrow?
I must say, your team RCB has gone 2 from 2, but they weren't very convincing. So please don't put your house on it. It's a situation where they've survived. They got over the line. I know it's the same batting track for both teams. Both teams have to bowl on the same one, and your team RCB came out on top. But I believe that they still would know that they are not playing at their very best. But great tournament so far. Runs on one side of the ocean, not much runs on the other side. So I think we will see how things unfold, and it's been excellent. But I think I would need a little bit more competition in the machine. So I don't know if you want to give your stats to me so we can compete as well, because I'm hearing you, I'm listening to you talking about your amazing day today with your selection. So maybe you can join the fun.
I should join the fun. The fact that I've done myself a big disservice by not joining in initially, I think we'll probably put a little ticker out for me. But that's enough of me. And of course, brilliant to chat with Brian as ever. He's yet again smiling at the end of the day. That's the more important thing in Criclytics Man vs Machine. The robot, of course, doesn't have emotion, so you can be sad in the corner, but you can never rule technology out, Brian. So a little cautious word there before the end of the show. You called it right with your football predictions. You've called it right with your Criclytics predictions again today. Well done. We'll see you soon, Brian Charles Lara. Good night from us. And thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. We'll catch you soon.
Good night.